Okay, this is game number 6 against Quicksilver 1. I'm gonna play Symbiote, I guess. Actually, Forge Guardian Beta is probably better. I always Dread Knight in my deck. If I have Dread Knight in my deck. Okay, so the problem is, yeah, let's just play Symbiote. I was gonna say, like, Forge Guardian Beta is a better card. Oh, that was neat. Okay, sorry about that. So, Forge Guardian Beta is a better card to level on turn 1 than Symbiote, because Symbiote doesn't get regen, it's just a 5/5. This is a 5/4 that, whoops, scales really good. How did I see a Death Seeker? Did I, like, look at my opponent's hand there? I'm pretty sure you can look at your opponent's hand by clicking your discard file and seeing what cards they have. Or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe it was my last round opponent's hand. Anyway, that's a good card, Evan's Skull Knight. I think I want to play Vault Intruder to block that and see what his hand is. See if I block with that grave or not. So he's got a Ordnance Captain, which means I can't block with Necromoeba if I want to live. And his next cards are like Vault Intruder, Barrier Soldier, stuff like that. Because he'll just play like Progeny or Barrier Soldier or Ordnance Captain and pop this guy. So go to combat, play Necromoeba here because he puts an Ordnance Captain here, trades. That's actually probably not good. So let's play Necromoeba way over here in the side lane. With luck, I'll draw Zombie Titan and Zombie Dread Knight next turn, but I didn't. It doesn't matter. Evan's Skull Knight dies, which saves me a lot of damage. Even if he does the Ordnance Captain play, which is probably the best of his hand, to play Barrier Soldier in the mid lane and then Ordnance Captain here, I can block this with Fellstrider or, yeah, probably just Fellstrider. I mean, Spirit Symmetry is not the worst either. Barrier Soldier and then Ordnance Captain in the mid lane? Blocks off his mid lane for a better creature. Oh, whatever. It's like the same thing. Because now I can just block it with Skynag later, and then move it and block the Barrier Soldier. Assuming he plays the best card in his hand, which was Ordnance Captain. It's certainly not Progeny as of. He's thinking about it. Though, usually you should think about your plays before you play the first card. Like, it's good to know what both of your plays are before you start your turn. Because otherwise you've like played a card and then you've blocked yourself into having less information. Which is not ideal. Okay, so plan B, he didn't play the Ordnance Captain, which I really thought he was going to. I'm going to play the Alolan General and the Spirit Steel Infiltrator, which kills his guy and gives me an Oozling, hopefully blocks the Flesh Fiend. And it lets my Spirit Steel Infiltrator move to kill his Barrier Soldier. Well, it doesn't kill his Barrier Soldier because it'll lose the power, but yeah, sick. But killing the guy there is pretty important. I can even play. I have 3 leveled cards with regen in my deck, right? 1, 2. Okay, just 2. Yeah, it still might be worth playing Dread Knight. My plays here are probably Dread Knight and Delta. I might play Barrier Soldier depending on what he does. My plays are increasingly looking like Overwhelming Forces and Forge Guardian Delta. I guess it depends on the second card. What's the second card? Vault Intruder to look at my hand. Post combat. Okay. I'm just gonna play 2 creatures. We're gonna play the Dread Knight here and the. Actually, Overwhelming Forces is pretty good here because I can. Which means I should have played the Delta first, but whatever. I just changed my mind in the middle of things. Like I can pump my guy to 5, which puts him dead next turn, so he has to debuff it. If he debuffs it, actually that's still not good because I can't move it because it won't die. So let's go ahead and play the Delta here. I was thinking the Onyxium Phantasm would kill my creature, but that's not the case. I need a creature with 7 power to kill this Phantasm. Okay, got a lot of power. Forge Guardian Delta and Vault Intruder. Gonna play the Vault Intruder in front of the Phantasm to kill it. He'll probably shrink my. Okay, I thought he would shrink the Delta, but I guess this invalidates the creature, and then he kills the Delta with the Vault Intruder. Okay, that's good. He's got a Plunder Imp to take my nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna block the Vault Intruder with the Vault Intruder, and then the Onyxium Phantasm with my Forge Guardian. Which does reduce the damage dealt to Plunder Imp, but who cares, it's already at 3 health. It doesn't really matter what his hand is. It looks like he's got a... Oh, Bulwark Battalion. That card's really good. And Skynet Glider. His plays are probably Bulwark Battalion, Skynet Glider. He didn't draw any level 2 cards, which is super nice. You could play Zethian Progeny and Tower Scales, but I doubt it. The other 2 cards are kind of just better. Didn't draw a card with regen. Does it matter? Probably not. It's still an 8/6. Like, I can play the Rot Fiend to kill that, and then play the 8/6 in front of... who knows? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I just kind of have to wait for what he does. My plays are really highly dependent on what he does. So Bulwark Battalion, and none of my creatures are attacking, so it doesn't really do a whole lot right now. I'm probably just gonna play Rot Fiend and Dread Knight. Don't really have anything else going for me. Meta Transfer is sort of an option, but not really, because it's worse than playing the creatures. Like, I could Meta Transfer this, but it still has its ability, so I'm gonna have to block it anyway. So, and I'd rather have the Rot Fiend as like a 6/1 or whatever it's gonna be after combat. And this hand's not good, but I did just draw a bunch of level 2 cards in the first couple hands, so it's probably fine. Phantasm is still really solid even in an underdrop, and I could probably take this time to level the Grim Reaper Witch. Actually, Zombie Titan's probably better because I have a regen, and I've got a level 3 Dread Knight in my deck, so I want as much really good regen as I can. A 6/6 Zombie Knight, or a 10/10 Zombie Knight with the level 3 Dread Knight is a 16/16. It's a pretty potent threat. So he's intruding all over my vaults, which is very rude. This leaves it with, what, 2 toughness? So we can block it with Phantasm. That's probably better than keeping it around for the ability, because it's only got 2 power. It's gonna die to pretty much everything. Okay, this just trades. So I think playing Phantasm to kill it is probably the best use of Phantasm. And then I'll play Zombie Titan in the middle lane. Or not the middle lane, the side lane. Playing Zombie Titan in the middle lane is not a good play. And it didn't draw my level 2 card, the Symbiote Necroeva or the Spirit Steel Infiltrator, which are my best cards. But I do have a level 3 Delta in my deck, and a level 3 Zombie Dread Knight. So even if I draw under-leveled regen threats, I draw the Dread Knight, it makes them gigantic. So hopefully that's what happens. My opponent has got a lot of Vault Intruders. That's pretty much what I remember of his deck. He's got some Skynet Gliders too. I'm probably going to end up playing, if he blocks this, if he blocks my Dread Knight, or my Titan, I'm probably going to play Overwhelming Forces to kill whatever he blocks with. Evan Skull Knight dies next turn, so there's no point in blocking it. I'll just take 13 from it, and then I guess I'll block that with Fellstrider, because my plays aren't that great. I could block the Evan Skull Knight with Fellstrider to take 14, but it dies next turn, so the damage is just wasted. Whereas this at least does 4 damage to it. And then I can follow up maybe with a Skynet Glider, move in front of it, and then play the Levoyan General I have in my deck somewhere. Possibly to kill it. Like, I didn't draw the Levoyan General, but Necromoeba kills it too. I could play Vault Intruder Necromoeba here. I want to play the Necromoeba because, again, I've got the level 3 Dread Knight in my deck. And the Necromoeba makes 3/3s, which is not irrelevant. It's actually quite solid a blocker. 3 damage adds up. Way more than the 1 damage from the level 1 version does. Ugh, okay. 100% playing Vault Intruder in front of that. And then... So where does the zombie go? Okay, the zombie goes not in front of the Flesh Fiend, which is what would have been ideal. Let's play the Necromoeba here, go to combat, see where the Oozling spawns. Hopefully the Oozling... I could guarantee the Oozling spawns for the Flesh Fiend, actually. But then it doesn't kill his Phantasm. Yeah, I think that's still for the best. Vault Intruder him up. We've got a Plunder Imp and a Skynet Glider. And the Oozling kills his first form of Flesh Fiend. And there's the Dread Knight, which probably not gonna matter. I've only got one creature with regen, and it only has 6 toughness, or 7 toughness. I guess if he chump blocks it, I can get some good value. But otherwise it's pretty much negligible. So this takes nothing because I drew all my level 3 cards. Thankfully. Yeah, he shrinks this, which is no big surprise, but it also doesn't really do anything. It just makes my guy 10-10. So let's play Dread Knight here. Actually, let's play Dread Knight in front of the Plunder Imp and Forge Guardian Delta in front of the Flesh Fiend. This blocks the most damage because Dread Knight can't take 2 hits no matter what it blocks. So I might as well kill the biggest creature around, and I want to preserve my Forge Guardian Delta's health because if I block the Flesh Fiend, it has 11 health, which means he needs a really big level 2 creature or a level 3 creature to kill it. Whereas if I block the 9 power creature, it'll go to what, like 9 health, 8 health, which is dead to a level 2 creature or some level 1 creatures. Like almost, actually maybe not in Necrium, Aloyan, but in other factions certainly. Okay, my hand's not that great this go around. So my play is likely going to be Onyxium Phantasm and the Overwhelming Forces to get in damage. It also makes my Onyxium Phantasm into a good threat. And my plays are just kind of garbage. Opponent's at 38. I can't kill the Phantasm. It's got so much health. Probably blocking it with Rot Fiend and then figuring out what to do with the other health it has. Because I block it to 12, it goes down to 5 plus 4 is 9, so he has to shrink it to minus 12, which means I do 0 damage. And it goes back up to 12, and I have to hit with another 12 power creature. It's a tall order. Of course, I have my own Phantasm, so I can shrink whatever he tries to block my Delta with. Which he did not respect. I think he's just blocking it to block it. Because it does 20 damage to him. Yeah, I have to block this card because I can't just keep ignoring it. And then I'll play a... The Zombie Titan doesn't have regen, so the Fell Strider's better. I could replace my Forge Guardian Delta, but this is going to kill whatever blocks it, so there's no real reason to. And even if he shrinks the Necromoeba again to make it less powerful, 1, his Phantasm dies, and 2, the Necromoeba still makes Oozlings, which is nice. And that still has regen. So if I draw Dread Knight again, I can kill him with the +6/+6. Yeah, okay, there's the block. And he shrinks my Fell Strider, maybe? Or if he shrinks the Zythian Rod Fiend, the Hound, I can block it with the other Rod Fiend. I think it's kind of greedy to shrink the Rod Fiend, to be honest. I would probably shrink the Fell Strider. So then I play, this is 12, 16 damage. We're really close to killing him. I'm going to play the Rot Fiend in the side lane, and then the Fell Strider in front of the Vault Intruder, because that gives me a lot of attackers. He's at 3, so all my creatures are lethal except for the -4/6 over here. And the Necromoeba is actually really hard to kill with 17 toughness. And he still has to block it, and it makes Oozlings if he kills one of my creatures in combat. The bad part is the Oozlings can actually replace the zombies sometimes, which is not... Ooh, that's a good card for him to draw. Gives him 15 extra health every turn. Super good. and the Evan School Knight to block my 20-power creature. That's an excellent draw from him. He really needed his deck to live. He really did. Okay, unfortunately for him though, I got the 10-power creature in the open lane. So what I can do now is Scourge Knights to kill his Evan School Knight, so he doesn't have that as a blocker anymore. And then go to Zombie Dread Knight, pump my guy by 6, and he takes 3. I actually wasn't sure of the math, but I realized it after I Scourge Knight his creature. So kind of a manner of play, but whatever. This is a 5-1, so we've got 2 more games. 2 more games for 7 ones.